What's up, everybody? This is Base One Live. That means it's not like a podcast or anything. It's just Base One. This is Base One. You know, the idea of a base is a lot of military principles that went into the founding of this, and it's really interwoven in the architecture, the structure of this movement. The base, these cells, monks, warrior fighting monks, we're shape-shifting warrior fighting monks. The art of war. The ability to fight, stand one's ground, to cultivate the survival energy in you as a sentient being, as a predator, as an animal that has every right, as AZD says in nature, to guard your survival, to fight back, to bite back. And like I was talking with Fernando, I think 2 days ago on our stream, it was like or maybe it was with Sultan yesterday. It's a movement with certainty, a movement with certainty that as you apply the principles of the beasting process, like Raul was saying, you tap into this kind of wave of energy that you become a vessel of your subconscious, really, of your attitude, of how you hold yourself. And so we have this process that kind of hijacks what's already happening with the mind-body connection, how you react to how you're thinking, and then you start to shape how you're thinking. And that's where you apply stoicism in the beasting. And through the process, it's so interesting. Something about the repetition, the ritualizing it, the consistency of it, and how AZD explains it, how we apply visualizations. You're tapping into your imagination. I'm not going to say that you're like activating your third eye, but what you're doing is creating a psychosomatic experience through your visualization that literally reorients your cells. It reorients your being, it reorients your decisions and how you think about what's happening. And as you create from that, as you communicate from that, as you express from that, you reorient all of the, variables of your life. You reorient your life. Everything that you're interacting with gets reoriented to what you are emanating. And so it's more than just a quick fix or take a lecture so that you feel good about yourself or anything else that's like a temporary thing like that. There's definitely temporary benefits, but the consistency starts to raise your baseline and change your subconscious. Like I said, it's hijacking what's already happened. So if you read a little bit, it's happening. As you grow and evolve in life, it's happening. You have a relationship here, you have some business, handlings happen over here. You're naturally growing and evolving. Like, it would be absurd to think you're not. You're going to be better than your parents if you just do what they did. Like, so everybody's outdoing their parents, but that's not good enough, man. That's like saying, the smartest retard in the classroom. Like, it's not that impressive, really. Like, we got to raise our standards here. And most of the guys here are going to look at women and relationships and the mastery of the feminine energy as an important variable in this, because if for no other reason than it's such a suppressive society, such a feminist society, such a socialist society, that the independent, not interdependent, let's call it, the independent, interdependent alpha male that's part of a tribe is so vilified in the culture. And there's no good reason for you. It doesn't benefit you that it's been vilified. It's a detriment to you. And you should take offense to that, because it's the gradual whittling away of your freedoms and the whittling away of your masculinity that generations later you find yourself a total beta male, but you did nothing to make it that way. You just went along with the way. You didn't stand up for anything, because you as an individual aren't going to have much power, but the power of the tribe, and then this tribe, because all other tribes are going to be broken. Like my ex-wrestling teammate, his wife messages me, or his wife adds me as a friend this morning. And in our messaging back and forth, this is not something that any of you would want your fiance or your wife or your girl, but they were tight. I lived with both of them. It was me and him and his younger brother, 3 wrestlers that wrestled at the University of Oklahoma, and his girlfriend at the time that moved in. And then they got married, and then they have kids. And 10 years later, he's not fat, but he's docile. I know what happens in marriage. It doesn't matter how alpha you were when you got into it. They are feeding you an illusion. You got to tap into the beast. You got to emanate the beast And you got to keep creating, because you've created a situation for yourself in a very different direction for a lot of years. And yeah, it's going to take time. So you need a method to overturn yourself. I remember the beginning studying with AZD, AD at the time, 5.5, 6 years ago. And the information is so powerful, it immediately will manifest in your life. You take on the understandings, the analogies, you speak them, it shifts your energy. I mean, the wisdom does that for sure, but there was never a method moving forward. There was, AZD, and it's just more information. Visualization techniques come through, communication techniques come through. You grab techniques and you end up having like a library of these like alchemy, visualizations and sound bites and things, game bits. You get references for study mystery method and study surrender experiment, study stoicism and study this and study that. And you can go and find those references, the art of war and the art of seduction and 50 laws of power. I mean, I just go on. Like the book references are there. We can put them together, but there's not been a method. I'm telling you, like after years of already doing yoga on my own as a solo practice, but after already years in mastering wrestling as a team practice, there became this thing that was now like a solo practice in a team practice. It was both. And it was a way to apply the teachings to reshape yourself. And it's amazing after 5 years, how much of a burst of growth I had in the last year because of this beasting process. Something to switch out the bricks in the design of my temple and remake my temple. And that's going to attract new experiences. And then the game of the beast. Well, that's why I bring Fernando here. Fernando's here. He's got the game of the beast. And I got the game of the beast too. So what can I tell you about it is the same way you have a movement as you do how we apply the routine. Like if you're in the Lion's Den, you get the calisthenics and you get the basics of like read stoicism, sleep on the floor, like count your macros, this and that. And when you get how to apply stoicism through journaling and through the study interwoven in your calisthenics, and you get what we've discovered about integrating that information into your being, you carry yourself and you move with a certainty, not overreaching, not going outside of what's in your influence. And as you practice and move it into the world, and then you start to pick up interactions and interacting with women, you have less and less tolerance for bullshit, for saying things that aren't what is meant to be said, for miscommunications like that. It's a very Stoic principle to name things as they are. You get very intolerant of things not being named as they are. It's a waste of your time. And there is a phase 2 and a phase 3 that calibrates communication more. But as you do this in game, there's a presence about you that strikes a note in the women that interact with you that doesn't get struck by you very often, or really by many people don't strike this note in them very often. And it's a note of almost of fear. It's a note of that kind of respect that comes from being afraid of a man by how he moves, how he carries himself in between the interactions, in between the movements. There's something about this guy's movement that it's just more alpha. It's more sincerely rooted in the natural facts that you are survival, and much more than her, so much more than her. It moves around with an independence and a self-confidence that just triggers in her some kind of insecurity, like, oh, he has higher value than me. That's what it is. You start to value yourself as the prize naturally. As you apply the beasting process and the beasting routine and how we organized all the elements, how AZD organized all the elements of it, you start to carry yourself like the prize. And you don't realize how much you're not doing that until you start to do it more, because you become habituated to what you are doing, to your game. So as you elevate through this process, you'll look back on last week, yesterday, even this morning, as fuck, man, that was beta. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? And you'll correct yourself. You'll autocorrect. That's the part of a solo practice that you can start to autocorrect and evolve in your downtime, in the 23 hours that you're not listening to lecture, you know? So That's me talking a lot. Fernando, I'm real interested in what you have to say about this. You know, just on the stream, like it doesn't have to be anything related to what I'm saying. You know, you've been out in the field, I know, for the last like week or 2 weeks, door knocking, interacting with girls on that level. And obviously you've been slaughtering it on, I guess, dating app game or whatever, fucking online game.
Just online, because everywhere.
Yeah, just everywhere, just dominating game, right? And, you know, what is the difference? I know that you've gone through a lot of all the events here. And so Code Dracula, Alpha Code, if you can, think about just what phase one, the product of a phase one experience, and bringing out that beast. What's the difference in your game from just the beast versus before the beast? Understanding also that you're learning game along the way. So you're comparing somewhat apples and oranges because you get better at game also along the way. But what's the difference in your game from the beast versus not? That's my question, and you take it anywhere you want, obviously.
Sure. Yo, what up, everybody? Well, to latch on to Yogi Chris's question, right? What's been the difference between my game before beasting and non-beasting? Well, look, it's simple. Today, I was going door to door, right? And as Yogi Chris mentioned, for the last 3 weeks now, I've been going door to door every day for 6 hours. Now, let's take account to the people I'm working with, right? All of these guys have been in prison, incarcerated, some of them in Pelican Bay. If you don't know what Pelican Bay is, do some research because IMC Nation has a background with this, right? On YouTube. Some of them have been locked up for over 20 years. Now, you would ask the question, why is a guy like me, who's been in business for 4 years and for himself, who lives in the IMC temple, working a part-time job, right? Going door to door with convicts, right? Well, I don't know how things happen in my life, but this is part of my storyline, right? And what a fucking opportunity for me to practice every philosophy and all the teachings that AZD has been sharing with us along the journey. Now I see some faces who have been off and on the process, people who phased out. And look, the biggest difference between being a beast and gaming and not being a beast is the simple fact that you can look like a beast, but when it comes to the game of women, you're a fucking bitch. You're a bitch. Why? Because you're treating these women as if they have more value than you as a man, as you as a character. And look, I see these men that I work with, yeah, they've been in prison, and we think we have these concepts that these guys are some of the most dangerous men. The way they talk to their women is fucking pathetic. It's sad as fuck the way they talk to their women. Complete beta frame after beta frame after beta frame from guys who have bang shot and killed somebody and been incarcerated for 20 years. And the way they talk to their women, I'm like, bro, what? I'm having a complete different experience when it comes to women versus these type of men. Now, I'm not comparing myself to them. Why? Because I'm a student of AZ motherfucking D. Now, if you're on this process, there's a clear distinction between a warrior monk and IMC dedicated student versus a motherfucker who's just coming in here because they're just watching from the outside and now they want some shine. Motherfucker, you're gonna have to put a lot of goddamn time into this shit. I put in my whole fucking life into this shit. Now, if you're expecting one event to change the trajectory of your game, of your life, of your mentality, well, it's going to be a fucking process. Now, thank God we have phase one as a fucking process to fall into. Why? Because as you step into this journey of phase one, you start to really tap into this language that we use, tap in. What the fuck is tap in? What does that shit even mean? Well, if you ask, the 300 men, the 300 IMC warrior, what are we called? The immortals? The 300 immortals?
300 immortals.
If you ask every 300 immortal what tapped in meant, it means a complete different thing. But the one thing that we do understand is fuck, it's real to us. It's real to each and every individual, whatever the fuck it means. Now, I've put myself in a condition that I actually fucking hate. I hate fucking working at that job. I fucking hate it. But goddamn, I love it too. Why? Because it's strengthening me as a character where every day, no matter how the fuck I feel, whether I'm tired as fuck, this last beast camp, me and Titan were sparring. And You know, Titan's been training for a while. I barks a few times a week, and we were going at it. We were fucking swinging shots at each other. I was hitting him in the fucking face. He was fucking hitting me in the body, in the face. It was a good fight, right? Fuck, I love that shit. But the next day, I had like this throbbing, massive ass headache, right? I was like, fuck, dude, my head hurts from just taking all these hits. And I still had to show up to the fucking go door to door for 6 goddamn hours. Now you go door knock for 6 hours in the blazing fucking hot sun and you tell me how you feel. You tell me what your mind is gonna talk to you. My mind is going nuts. My mind is fucking me up the whole time. But goddamn, what a fucking practice to see where my beast is. To see that no matter what condition I'm in life, that I have a creation, meaning I have a beast that I've worked on every fucking day, that I can play this fucking game of a beast. Whereas I see every guy that's in that job and they're stuck. They're stuck in that job, thinking that that's the only opportunity in their fucking life. Whereas I'm playing this game and I'm amplifying my beast, I'm walking my beast, I'm social interacting, I'm gaming, I'm expanding my territory. And these guys have the mindset that this is their job, that this is the only way they're going to make bread in life, that this is a dead end, that's it for them. And to me, that's fucking sad. I'm like, God damn, dude, what the fuck? If only you had a fucking beast to play in life. Why? Because if you were a beast motherfucker, that's senior to anything in this world. Why? Because you could be a fucking millionaire and still be a fucking bitch. You could be a billionaire, you still a fucking bitch. Why? Because they don't have the essence of what we've tapped into, what we have as a package deal. Now, your beast is only going to be as strong as the amount of time, the amount of energy that you put into it. When I say energy, that doesn't just mean burpees and push-ups. That means showing up to every fucking camp. That means continuously evolving with where the teacher is, AZD. If AZD is on phase 4 and you're on phase 1, man, what do you got to do to step the fuck up and get to phase 4 already? Because you asked the question, is it possible for me to elevate my beast faster? Yeah, it is. It's going to require you to invest a lot. But fuck, I've invested a lot, so why should I feel any less for you? I've invested everything. Now, you got to ask yourself, who do you want to be in this process? Doesn't mean you want to be me. It means you got to be you. Now, who do you become in this process is what the journey's about. Who do you become within the ranks of IMC Nation? In the ranks of beasts, of warrior monks? Are you just another fucking guy that drops out? Because if you're another one of those guys, just don't even come around. If you have quit in you, get the fuck out of here. If you have a band-aid over your bullshit problems in life, you're not qualified. But if you're here to change the entire existence of your life because you know it's fucking worth it, then my friends, you're about to step into an arena that's very, 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 very worth fucking playing. And I wouldn't play anything else outside of this beast, because this beast is giving me everything I want. When it comes to women, I have bitches flying here now. And it's not just one bitch. Then it's 3, 4, 5 bitches now booking their flights and hotels just to come for a weekend to get fucked. What the fuck is this shit? I am now that guy that these bitches fantasize to have sex with, where late night they'll text me and call me just to hear my words, because I take them into a fucking movie scene with my language. I take them to an experience like fucking 50 Shades of Grey. I'm mind fucking these bitches. Now, I don't know if that's the game you want to play, but fuck, is it exciting to know that there's fine ass women that want to fuck me all day. That I move everywhere I go, knowing that women want to fuck me. That when I'm going door to door, I am emanating the energy of a man that gets fucked. Right now, you're emanating energy of a man that's docile, that's weak, that doesn't get pussy. If you're not tapped into this shit, I'm tapped into some shit. Now, it's bound to happen if you're around AZD, right? Because he's every fucking day demonstrating this shit. Every day. Show me one man who has more women at that level of compliance. Like, there's no one in this planet. Now, I'm only a fucking small fraction of what he does, but good. Why? Because this is my process. Now let's see where I go, but let's see where you go. Because as far as I go, that just says and validates how far you can go. Because I'm just like you, man. There's no difference between me and you and your story and my story. Maybe you guys have a cooler fucking story than I do. Now, how are you talking about it? How are you creating it? Now you have a game that's been, what's the word? Codified. Now we have a game of creating an archetype of a beast in whatever the fuck that means to you. A beast in business, a beast in fucking women, a beast in relationships, a beast in life, a beast amongst beasts. But anywhere you go, god damn, you emanate respect. I don't go to places anymore with fear and shit like that. I really don't. Even when I see like dangerous people, gangsters and shit, I'm going door to door, man. I'm seeing so much shit now. A lot of fucking shit. Imagine 6 hours of just knocking on people's houses, seeing the fucking people that come out. Lately, it's been a trip, though. It's been a fucking trip since this last Rise of the King. The way people are opening up to me, it's unreal, man. I feel like I'm at a point where I can literally grab a bitch, pin her to the wall, and make out with her because I can see it in her eyes. We're fucking. And it's unreal. I'm like, no way. What the fuck is going on here? Shit. Am I really about to just fuck? There was a pregnant chick today. She was from France. It was getting too friendly, man. Too friendly. I was like, no way, bro. There's another chick that, you know, we got into like some conversation. We started hugging, all kinds of shit. I'm like, what is going on? Bro, I don't know if there's a husband inside. I don't know if there's kids inside, but I'm just tripping out also experiencing this shit. Why? Because I'm just playing my role, man. I'm being a beast. Now, is there the potential of me getting fired? And yeah, there is, of course. Of course there is. There's consequences with this shit. There's consequences in everything that you do. That's why you can't be fucking stupid doing random ass shit. However, I put my time into this shit. And so, you know, I move aware. I'm very cautious. I'm very aware of what the fuck I'm doing. And it's being accepted. And so every day I'm just shattering whatever limiting beliefs I've had about me, about Fernando Caro's identity, and inserting a beast philosophy that where Fernando was weak, a beast is the fucking solution of all Fernando's problems. That when Fernando doesn't feel good and he's about to complain and bitch at the doors, goddamn, thank God I have a fucking beast to say, you know what? Fuck that, I'm a beast. That's the difference here. I ain't no fucking man here. I'm a fucking beast. Now let's go hunt. Whether it's gonna bring me pussy, money, success, let's fucking go. Chris, I don't know if you want to talk. That was my first piece.
Fuck. All right. She'll have to wait.
Any questions? I mean, shit.
Yeah.
We'll open it up for questions because I'll save the rest for tomorrow, you know? But this nigga's tapped in.
Captain. All right. What do we got here? Alejandro, Jonathan, the world. Guys, so tomorrow's event, we're working out the schedule. We start at 2, it looks like. AZD's at 5. He has 2 segments. He has a 2-hour segment Friday and 2-hour segment Saturday. This is going to decode the coat of arms and any of his innovations. I mean, it's going to blow your mind. You don't know how good it is until you start hearing him decode imagination, visualization, what he's doing with his routine. You don't see, you just see results. So the results are his life. He's not lucky. The longer you're around, the longer you stick around, the more you see, how much it's created from nothing. But that something is imagination. It's nothing to us because we don't see it, but it is something to him because it's his imagination. He's literally just reacting on the outside, how he's imagining, and he's cultivating his imagination through a process that is given to us, that over time it's developed and it's kind of distilled down into the essence. And then it was given to people, duplicated. A bunch of us, integrated it, and it's fucking phenomenal. So we got newbies. We got guys that are alumni of the Phase 1 event. We got old school alumni of old Phase 1 events. This is a new generation. The information is more it's been built upon. So if the old guys, the guys that are beaded, you want to come, then it's half off for you. The guys that are alumni of the June Phase 1, this isn't what's going to happen for the July Phase 1. But because of the June phase one, it was the reintroduction of the phase one since January or December or something. And it had been repackaged. The alumni of June phase one can reattend for just $100. It's normally $497. So beaded monks from the original class, you get it half off. It's $247. Alumni of June phase one, it's just $100 for you because you got on it when it was offered, when it was around, and you decided, you made that decision. It wasn't pushed that hard. You made that decision. So you get to return indefinitely to phase one for $100. New guys, it's $497. It's hella worth it. With it, I'm also giving the book of notes, the Lions Den book of notes. Even for the alumni, anybody you're paying $100, you're going to get the book of notes. That's a 65-page PDF that has 248 lectures in it. The first 248 Lions Den lectures from May 28th, 2020 until February 28th, 2021. 9 months, 248 lectures. I counted, I made a tab, and it's all in there. Now, I mean, it's not all in there, but you'll upload a lot of information real fast. You get to catch up, and there's a lot of beasting details in there because he gives gems about the beasting process throughout Lions Den, but it's all woven together for you in the phase one. And you know, last month I was saying that before the event, and I knew in my heart it was true. I knew in my gut it was true, but I forgot how true it was. When I was listening to AZD lecture on the phase one, I was like, fuck, man, he really just like packed this all together in a way that makes sense. Now, one of the most profound things that everybody, I think, could improve on in their beasting is gaming while beasting. The routine was really packaged during quarantine, and it was a way to survive a prison planet in the cell of your own home. That in your own prison cell, how can you evolve and grow and stay strong and actually get stronger if you had to fight a fucking zombie apocalypse out there, which it basically was. Then now the world was opening up more or less, and we're in California. Some places are way open and everything, every open, all totally open, whatever. But it's still out there in the world. And if you're in one of the 2 states in the United States that's like fully open, it's still a prison planet. And you're still imprisoned in a feminist socialist society having to fight it back. You just happen to be around more people that are more on your side than over here is more people that are on the other side. But there was somewhere I was going with that. The prison planet, routine to get strong. Gaming while beasting. How to tap in your game, how to tap your game into the survival energy that you're tapping. How to express yourself on social media is another thing, which is so profound for business. When you get the beasting process and you get the details, and I'm going to talk more in my segments about social media and gaming during the beasting process, because that was so profound. How I interacted with prostitutes, with some of the whores that come at me on Instagram, some of the girls that have been watching my shit for years, but they never invest or never come around seduction-wise. How you polarize your audience, how you get rid of a lot of girls, but then you also pull a lot of girls. And you start to define yourself a little bit more. So your beast gets out there. This is like how the game beasts. And then it's very similar for your social media, because it really just comes down to tapping that energy in you. I really see it like oil reserves or like some kind of precious metal. Like you're just tapping the reserve in it. But it's why it's more than that is because you're kind of tapping a limitless energy. It's almost like tapping nuclear fuel. There's so much energy in you, survival energy, that's been bound up in the cage of your mind through wrong ideas, faulty self-image, a feminist conditioning that doesn't allow you to really express yourself. Like I was telling somebody about the Lions Den today. They're like, what's it like? And I'm like, man, there's no men's groups. There's nowhere you can go that women are excluded and you can actually get women. You can go to Dungeons and Dragons and maybe they don't let girls in, but there's no just men's group that will exclude women, that get women, that you can actually express yourself as a man and hear other men express themselves that are a little further along, that have, you know, when you first stretch your wings, you're going to be clumsy when you try to fly. Guys that have been flying for years, you'll hear their expression. It doesn't mean that you talk like them, but you'll tap into that energy. That's great on Lions Den. Now, for the beasting process, you are not tapping a strength in you that is free from the influence of feminist suppression. And you may get sound bites from it, but like I said, the Lion's Den is just, that's all it's going to be, is just sound bites and positive interactions and small level ups that you get to glean. For the more advanced guys, what's so cool is that in the Lion's Den, you get all the most advanced teachings that you would in the most advanced Tabiat training, but you just won't be able to recognize it until you get the highest level trainings. You get the words to be able to see, you get the frames and the ideas, so you get to see them put into practice in the Lion's Den. You'll understand more of what he's expressing. As you tap into the beast energy, your genetic survival, and you open up a portal into present time of your energy like that. And now you connect to women, and you connect to your social media and to your business, and you start to recalibrate your mind to that level of interaction. It bleeds into your day. So that throughout your day, that's where we talk about being tapped in or beasting out on that, beasted out on that communication or on that business endeavor or whatever. Because you can't literally drop and do 50 push-ups and somehow that gets the girl. I mean, it's a gamut. You could do that, but that's not like, if that's all you had, that wouldn't work, right? And obviously that won't get you the sale. There's something in you that you must tap. And it's not just aggressiveness. It's not just because then gym bodies would be doing it or fighters would be doing it, but they're so beta when they go around women or in different life situations, just dealing with their family or in business, they're still supplicating so much. They haven't found their genuine, authentic movement because they're still training intermixed with girls and they don't have a system to reform themselves. Right? What's up? Hey, the man of the hour right there. Thank you. So we got Sultan. Are you done with the call? Yeah. You're like involved now? So like what I asked Fernando, I'm really interested because I like named the event the Game of the Beast. And I know you've been doing all the events, and so there's like Code Dracula's in there, Alpha Code and everything. But if you could somehow say how your game changed, how your game is different with the Beast, what is that? What is Beast game for you versus game that like, you know, before Beast? And the thing is it's hard to compare because you also learned game along the way. You've been evolving. Yeah, I didn't know game before. So if there's some way, maybe not Beast game, but just like how you handle life, maybe real estate or like your family or something with that Beast energy. Microphone's weird. Or whatever else you want to talk about, really. You know, wherever it goes. Is there a chair here? The chair, no, it's in the other room.
Packed audience.
Yeah.
We got it here. Okay. These are everyone here is coming to the camp, or this is just
pre-talk. Yeah. There's a few people registered, like Aaron and Eddie, I think maybe. Daniel is not. No.
Okay. All right. What's up? What's up? What's good? Got Powerhouse. Get money, fuck bitches in here. That's cool. All right. The beasting process, man. When it comes to game, when it comes to business. Well, man, every single day I fucking trip out, dude. It's fucking crazy. I fucking trip out every day when I... Man, where to begin? Dude, every single day that I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck happened to me? Like, how the fuck am I at right now? Or how am I at where I am right now? It's fucking crazy. Like, it just blows my mind. When it comes to everything, when it comes to, you know, change something? No. Oh. When it comes to how I look, like I was looking at photos of myself from a year ago, and I don't even look the same. Like I'm talking, not that I've gained or lost weight, but my face actually looks different. It's pretty fucking crazy. Like my physical features look fucking different. It's really bizarre to me. And I was just tripping out over this shit. I was looking at photos last night of myself. And really to me, it's like, man, it's so much of it's my mindset about everything. About like family, because like I still have fucking people in my family that reach out to me with bullshit, even like beginning of the phase 1 process, but everything is being handled completely differently than when I first started the process. And the thing that just really blows my mind is that it's been like a year now.
Yeah,
it's been about a year since we moved here.
Oh, since we moved in?
Well, because the process started just a little bit before we moved in.
Yeah, it was like June we started. Then we moved
June?
in August.
Okay, yeah. So it's been about a year, a little bit more than a year, since the process started, and I look back at so many moments before the process where, you know, I was handling family or handling like clients or handling girls, but I didn't even know how to fucking talk to girls, dude. I didn't know how to fucking talk to girls before I started the phase 1 process. Like, I was studying other pickup artists, and I wasn't learning anything. I was just fucking. It felt like I was going in circles. I wasn't learning anything that was valuable for me to go out and fucking practice. It was almost like everyone was just stroking their own dicks inside the group, inside that pickup group, and nothing was going on. You know, like there'd be talk about this and that, but nothing would actually happen because there was no process like this. There wasn't like a routine that we could go through in the beginning of the day or in the morning that would prepare you for the rest of your day after the routine is done. When it comes to work, when it comes to handling life in general, there was no routine like that in this other group. So it was just like everyone was just fucking stroking their own dicks. It was like a fucking circle jerk. Shit was whack. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Oh, because before this process, I didn't know game. I still wouldn't consider myself knowing game. I mean, I'm still learning fucking every fucking minute. I'm studying and learning more shit. So what can I say about the process, man? It's just fucking changed my life, man. And you know, one of the reasons why it changed my life is because I stayed consistent to it. This isn't something that you do for like 2 weeks and then you're going to get fucking 100 women. It's not how it works. It takes a lot of fucking discipline and consistency to do this shit. This is not a fucking Tony Robbins event where you go and, you know, we cheer each other on for 2 days and then we go home and, you know, fucking do nothing. This is some shit that you have to come prepared, taking fucking notes, reading the book of notes that Yogi Chris wrote for the early on lectures, and then applying this shit and preparing yourself because you're going to get fucking challenged. This is not like fucking walk in the park. Maybe you won't get challenged by your family. Good. That's fucking good for you. I hope you don't, but just expect to fucking put in your time. Because that's what I did. That's what everyone here has done. That's what all the, you know, beaded monks here, like Shamir, you know, everyone else that's in here. That's what all of us have done this shit. I don't know what else to say. It just changed my fucking life, dude. This shit's crazy. And it feels like it's been so much longer than a whole year. It feels like it's been fucking 2-3 years, dude. It's fucking mind blowing.
What do you perceive when you see the difference? Like, let's say guys that are here, maybe they're not on the lines then even, or guys just on lines and haven't done a phase 1.
Yeah.
Or guys that have done advanced camps, but maybe haven't done a phase 1. Or the guys that are all the way through, they've done everything. Like, do you feel a difference in the audience? Like, do you perceive a difference, like when you see their squares, or like, what is that for you? What do you sense?
Well, I can see that people that haven't come to a beast camp, when I look at their square, I can tell very easily if somebody has been to a camp. What do I sense? It's a vibe. I don't know. It seems like they don't fucking know jack shit, and then they act like they know everything. They act like they've been to every camp and that they're like well off, like they don't need to come to a camp. That's what it seems like. That's the vibe I get from them. Like, because I've talked to a lot of guys that haven't been to any camps.
They sound ignorant.
Yeah, they sound ignorant as fuck. They think that they've come to every camp that I've come to, and that they know like the fucking guy you're messaging. I have hella girlfriends, but I just need money. Like, that guy's a fucking clown. Yeah. So it's like that's the vibe I get. Like, they think they know everything, but they don't know fucking jack shit. That's the vibe I get from them. Yeah. And I can tell just by looking at them that they don't fucking know shit, because they're probably studying like fucking 20 different people. Like I was studying 20, but you know, I was studying multiple fucking people for pickup. When it came to pickup, that's the biggest fucking mistake you can make, is studying fucking 2, 3, 4 different guys. Because it's all this shit's conflicting information. You're not going to know what the fuck to do.
Their vibe's off.
Yeah, and their vibe's off too.
Because you pick up the instructor's vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
You get it? That's the big problem.
Well,
they have good techniques.
Yeah.
They all have great techniques, but their vibe's way off. And the vibe, you start realizing, is more important than anything. If one thing you guys can say about the beast is it's a vibe.
Yeah.
That you create every day, and it just continues.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
I didn't even think of that. That's crazy because, wow.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Wow, that's fuck. That just blew my mind.
Why?
And their techniques
Because-
never address the vibe.
Yeah, because their techniques. Like if I look back, I can see there's a lot of techniques that are good, but when I watch them, it's like they're cringy. Like
Mhm.
they make me cringe when I watch.
Yeah. And they got amogged by chumps. They got hell amogged. They got all watery eyed about it. There was no beast there.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about Vince, I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Koshla is
That's
just
the
get like
best.
totally like picked on right there.
Yeah.
That's the best.
You know?
Yeah,
Their vibe is off.
that's crazy, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, I didn't even come to my mind.
But it's just interesting. The beast as is like it's separate from a skill set of game.
Yeah.
But it taps into like a natural inborn almost skill set, like the history of your ancestry that got you to where you are, like all the genetic code of how to mate is in there, and you're tapping into that with this survival. So there's like an inner knowingness but then there's not like there's not an acculturation of it, so we got to refine that shit. That's like phase 2. But you know, I think it starts to build the foundations on bedrock instead of on the shaky structure that, you know, guys come to this. I came to this with a shaky structure.
Yeah.
And, you know, now I just feel like this was, like I've said, this is a method to solidify yourself that helps you receive the teachings and put it in place so that it like sticks.
Yeah, that's a really good way of saying it. And you know what I was saying to you on the Enlightened Masculinity podcast yesterday, when it comes to like when something happens on the outside to me, like now if somebody fucking triggers me or some shit happens that I can't control, there's like zero resistance on the inside. Like not zero, I'll take that back. There's very little resistance. Like I just let go. Like I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody, you know, some chick tells me to fuck off or something, right? Like in the past, I would have been like thinking about that shit all fucking day. Like, God damn, what the fuck, man? This bitch just told me to fuck off. Like, you know, that period of that happening is shortened. It's like,
man,
the window of that I guess emotion you could say, like being butthurt or whatever. But yeah, is like
the drama. That's good.
Yeah, the drama is like very. The window is very short. I can close the window very quickly.
It was a novel. Now it's just a short story.
Yeah, it's not even a fucking story. It's like it's like an unfinished fucking book. Unfinished fucking.
It's a poem that's not finished.
Yeah. So that's something that I've realized more recently, and I don't know how long it's been like that, but compared to the beginning of the process, it was like fucking all like I'd be fucked up for 2-3 days over some stupid shit.
And that's really when you start to measure your life and the value of your life. It's because it's such a priceless gift when you cut down on your dramatization of things or your reactions. Like only you can measure that for yourself. You don't compare with people, but that evolution is, man, you just save yourself so much future suffering. You know?
Let me say something. Look, we were just driving right now, him and I, and Sultan said he was talking about the woman he's talking to. And what was the observation you made about her? You said you could do what?
I could basically tell her. I could make her do anything I want, or tell her to do anything I want. And she'll agree to it.
Like he can basically say anything and she'll agree.
Sure, anything, yeah.
And then I said, that's called power.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's what's addicting. And then I said, what do you think my day looks like? And he said, I bet you 24 hours a day.
Yep.
So what he has with that woman, I have with Electra. She's about to walk in, okay? I have it with Hannah, I have it with Sally, I have it with Linda, I have it with Jessica, I have it with Antoinette, I have it with Taylor. But it's not just that. Even outside of them, my interactions are very close to about 80 to 90% total control I have. You know what I mean? Guy, girl, business. Okay, you guys gotta understand, that's the addiction. If you read the Art of Seduction book, it talks about the addiction that seducers have. You have total control over another person because they're in love with you. And I just finished doing meditation right now, Maharishi.
Yeah.
And I keep telling my girlfriends, I had to stop meditating for a while. And I hung out with her today. She started meditating today again because she saw like the level that I'm going up. Let me tell you something. I have such incredible insight right now on love and emotion We're just blown away right now. And I'll put it like this. This is what we're going to be exploring. Look. Just think with this for a second. See how true this is. We'll explore it more tomorrow. See if it's true. Any emotion that you send outwards, any emotion that you think you're throwing at somebody. So like, I'm mad at you, right? Any emotion that I think I'm throwing at somebody, I'm pissed off at you, I hate you. At the end of it, Maharishi says, look, so I throw that emotion out, he goes, at the end of it is yourself. He says, because the emotion is felt here. Every emotion that you think you're pushing into the world, you're pushing into you. He says, you can't even, he said, the direction of love and emotion is actually towards oneself, no matter what. The flow, the actual flow of energy is actually towards oneself. It looks like it's going out. It's not true. That's why you are the one that feels the emotion. You think you're pushing out anger. Sometimes the other person doesn't get angry. If you were pushing out anger, I would shoot anger at the guy, he would get angry. It's not true. You push out anger at the guy, he laughs, you get more angry. So you think you're pushing anger out, you're pushing anger in. You get it? Everything you think you're putting out and putting in. This is a whole different world. I mean, this literally just came to me right before I walked out. We're talking fucking 5 minutes ago. So just something for you guys to think about, right? Because the beast process is you're pushing out a certain energy in the world, but you're not. You're pushing it in. You keep creating yourself. By putting out the beast energy, you're putting it in. Soup is there. Okay, that's all I wanted to just add. Go ahead.
That's cool.
It's really cool. That's Maharishi.
Yeah, it's quantum. Okay, wow. Do you guys have any questions on what we've been talking about? Observations or comments? You could just unmute if it's too many people, then we'll do raise hands.
I have a few observations.
Brendan Maines from the zoo.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I've been around a bit. And yeah, I saw you guys move into the base, you know, over the last year. And I do see a difference in everyone who has lived in the house. That's, you know, that's unmistakable. And that comes down to, you know, being there every day and just being about the process. So it just speaks to the consistency and like the, I don't know, you can call it like dedication to growth. You know, Stoicism says, you know, like every problem's an opportunity, obstacles the way. Nobody in the house is afraid to express themselves. And everyone in the house is like, you know, dedicated to this constant learning.
We have fears of expressing ourselves. I mean, we overcome that stuff and it's been growth. Braden was around a Lion's Den for a few months early in the process, and then he's been away. And now so he's commenting on observing like you guys' has changed, you know, so that's interesting. Right on. Was that it? I thought I kind of cut you off there.
Yeah, that's my observation. That's what I wanted to say. Just for anybody who has not seen the transition between, you know, pre-base 408 now, you know, a year plus into it, you know, it's made a big difference, and anybody who doesn't know that should know that.
Yeah, and you're barely seeing it. Like over here, I think we're almost like we feel the tightness in the throat because it's like, you know, you're seeing it on the stream and maybe some of the social media, but I appreciate you acknowledging that. That's, you know, and, you know, when you come around and you hear some of the deeper talks about it, I think you'll see even more, man.
Yeah, what you guys are watching is a pinpoint tip of something. We live 24 hours a day like this. What happened was, the reason this project is so successful is that they live with me. I live like this. You know, you can't deny that there's a girl here every day, 2, 3, 4. Like, you're gonna have to confront that. There's actual living human girls with vaginas and tits walking in and out of here. Real people who live in this real city with real fucking problems. And I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary everything I'm doing, I'm sharing. Like, this is it. There's no room to hide for me. Like, they know my whole goddamn fucking schedule from morning till night, everybody. Right? And so that's what makes it crazy. It's like, it's real. That's what I've been trying to say my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
Right? And now we're seeing it. Now, the problem is, even this close, it's hard to observe. That's the problem we're actually facing now. It's like, okay, you could literally live four steps from me right there. How do you observe what I'm doing still? Like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Mhm.
I don't have wings and tails and I don't got $1 billion, but goddamn, people listen when I talk.
Mhm.
You know, and it just keeps happening more and more and more. You know, even when we were at lunch right now, that little opener that I did with that little girl, you know, that was pretty strong, dude. Right? That was a very strong little interaction we had.
Yeah.
I didn't push it, but I was just very into it. It was perfect. So smooth.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, you get to keep seeing it. Like, if you go out with me, right? What are the chances of me opening a set? Probably 100%, right? What are the chances of something pretty cool happening? Just some cool interaction. Probably 100%. Okay? All the time, any time of day, any time of night, like something slightly out of the ordinary, in quotes, is going to happen. Okay? Now, this keeps happening. And you're going to have to say, why? Why is this happening? Well, I'm telling you, this is what I do. Right? And as I get into something more, I tell you, right now, it's all TM. It's all transcendental meditation. It's all Maharishi. And it's all just learning. Well, it's not learning. It's putting together this communication. There's a way. What's happening right now is the flow. The actual sound and flow of my communication is changing way better. Okay, there's an extra sound that's gone from my voice. Just so you guys know. It's been gone for about a day now. Okay, it's easier to listen to me. It's easier to process it. Okay, and I know what's happening. So this is what makes it very deadly, because like when you open with this kind of sound, it's difficult to not answer you. The sound is too familiar. My sound right now is too comfortable to not answer if you talk to somebody, right? Like if I turn to somebody and say, how you doing, man? He'll turn around and look at me like, how you doing? They'll have to answer me. Why? It's just, it sounds so comfortable, you're gonna have to answer. There's nothing suspicious, there's nothing weird. And so that sound in dialogue and conversation is killing women right now. As they try to maneuver, they can't. Because my sound tells them, no, it's not. Like your sound passes all shit tests. Or your quiet or your pauses pass the shit test. If she says, why do you have so many tattoos? And you just pause for a second. And you smile. And you say, I don't know. That passed the shit test. Okay? You can pass every shit test with I don't know. But if you answer it like that, okay? Why do you have so many girlfriends? I don't know. Yeah, but why? I don't know. Yeah, but you think it's right? I wonder. I don't know. Well, I don't think it's right. Yeah, you might be right. You might be very right about that. Yeah, well, I mean, like, where are you gonna go with that, dude? But it's the sound. It's the sound. If I sound different, I have an argument in my hand. Electra. Okay, I'm gonna go out. So you guys know.
Demigod, do you have anything? You just came out here. You've been hearing us. Well, anything you think is unsaid that you want to say? This is Demigod, everybody.
That's the president there.
Yeah.
Good old Yogi Chris.
Yeah.
I've been listening. I just thought we all. What's the word? Is everybody online right now?
Well, they're online, right? They're way over here.
No. All right. Is everybody that's there signed up, or this is?
No, a few of these guys are signed, but most of them aren't. I think a couple guys are coming as alumni, Romero, and I think Randall and Jonathan the World. Anything on sound and tonality is golden. Yeah, I know, right? I think Eddie might be coming. There's a few. I think that's it. The rest of these guys are some advanced guys, you know, Johnny Freedom and people. Some guys need to phase one, like, I don't know, maybe Alejandro or Scott Corbell or whatever. Rudy, you've been on the phase one? I don't know if you've ever done a phase. Did you do a phase one beast camp?
Last month I didn't.
You did the advanced camp last month.
I did Kojak to that. I don't know if that was last month.
Yeah,
I think I was.
Yeah, that's the advanced camp. Right on. Hold on. Phase 1. Eddie Nicholas is coming, returning. Yeah. So what do you have to say to these guys? We've got a spectrum. Some guys are not online. I think just Brandon might be the only guy not on Lions Den. And then I think pretty much everybody else is on Lions Den.
Jonathan the World.
Yeah, Jonathan. I don't know. Jonathan the World, or he might be on Love Spell. I don't know. But he did the phase 1 event last month.
Can you, Jonathan, if you're there, can you show your face?
I'm on Lions Den, he said.
Yeah, take it as a no.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
All right. So to answer your question, sound and tonality. When you learn what beast you are, you just speak from that beast. And just even in normal day activity, when it comes to the sound and the tonality of your voice, you do it whether you realize it or not. So you go to an old lady as a store clerk or something, you're going to talk to her a certain way. When you approach something hot that you like, a little 23-year-old, nice little slim body or something, she bagging groceries for you, you're going to speak to her in a different tonality, in a different way. So when we say we tap in here, it's literally about what you tap into, and you have to be aware of yourself in every environment. So if you're trying to practice how you speak, your sound and your tonality, then first be aware of where you are. Once you become aware of that, then become aware of your speaking. And then whoever you're trying to be, whatever that character or that beast that you have, speak how that image of that character that you see wants to be. So I see Shamir is on. Shamir told me to change his name. He wants to be Prince Corleone. And I asked him a long time ago, what is he waiting on? He told me why he's waiting. And I said, fuck that, you just need to start now. You just start now. You waiting on shit to be perfect, and it's not gonna be perfect. There is no perfect time but now. You get started and you build and improve your character every day. For phase 1, because this is what the next event is about. I believe it was Brian, right? Says you know Brandon. I think it was Brandon. Brandon, been around since we got here. So since we got here, it's been about 10 months. Hey, Yogi, when did we do the first phase 1?
What about it?
When did we do the first phase 1?
Of like this event, you mean? Like last month? It was a month ago.
No. The original beach process.
The June of 2020.
June of 2020. Okay, so we did like 2 events before that, and then sounds about right. Anyway, so if you calculate the time,
You came live in July, and I think you were online in June, maybe.
yeah, I was still on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't. I think you were off the ship.
No, I was on. You know what? I got back on land in June.
Yeah.
I was still staying on the ship.
Right.
So I actually got released.
Yeah.
So since June 2020, everybody who's been on the phase 1 process since then, and if you don't know who those guys are, I'll let you know who they are so we can do some comparison here, because we need to start holding people accountable. We need everybody to get better. People just show up in Telegram and ain't nothing changed about them. And it's like, bro, why the fuck are you even here? Why are you representing IMC Nation? What are you doing in Telegram? And it's just, that's the shit like that pisses me off. If you're gonna be here, then be a representation of this nation. Because if we was in like any type of gang, because I know some people wants to be gangsters. If you're a gangster, whatever flag you hold or whatever gang you stand behind, if you're not a representation of that gang, then there's consequences. You either get put in violation or you get put out. So when I think of ILC Nation, I kind of think of it like that. Like if you want to be here and we're trying to be the 1%, we're trying to be the 300 immortals, whatever goal we have for ourselves, if you're not carrying yourself like that, then you shouldn't even be here. I don't want to call you my brother. You're not a good representation. But anyway, back to the phase. What I got at is that we've been here for 10 months. Some people who got on it back then still haven't made any type of changes. When you look at Yogi Chris, his physique has changed. When you look at Fernando, his physique has changed. Even so, ton, he's getting bigger. So for these people who's been doing it for month after month after month after month, and there's no changes in them, is either one, they're not doing it. Two, they're not doing it right. So it's still running the same. Or three, somebody's bullshitting here. I see a couple people like trying to flex when they take their pictures. Where's this fucking camera? Is this it?
No, it's on the computer.
On the computer. So, that's actually good quality. If you've been at it for 10 months and your fucking arms haven't changed to where you can just slightly flex, and not even flex, but if you can't move your fucking arm and the muscles move, this is a flex right there. You see everything start to activate. But without even flexing at all, and it moves, but on camera you taking pictures and you're flexing and shit still ain't moved. It's like you either doing the exercises wrong or you're not doing them at all. And then you just try to like false claim. I wish Nico was on. Nico said, what did he say? We're going to see who's beasting or who's been beasting or who's been about it when the shirts come off, because then you can't hide behind your clothes. Mm-hmm. So everybody that's going to show up to this phase one that's new to it, when you get the routine, if there's anything that you cannot do on there, anything that you may be confused about doing, please reach out to me, to you, reach out to any fucking body, and let us tell you exactly how it's done the proper and quality way. You shouldn't. I even seen a picture of somebody put up this, then 9 months later this, and it's like, bro, in 9 months you barely changed. Like you probably lost 5 pounds. So something is not going on. Something is not going right. 9 months and that's all the change. So if you're gonna do this, do it the right way, then have a purpose to why you're doing it. Don't just wake up and do this process because you IMC Nation and AZD. Put your own purpose behind why you're doing it. While you wake up in the morning at 3, 4, 5, there's a guy on Telegram getting up at 8. Have a purpose behind why you're waking up. Don't just do it because of IMC Nation or AZD. Fuck that. Put a purpose behind it. Then, whatever your vision is, I told everybody a while ago to write down your visions, your goals, and however you see your character. And each day, you need to wake up. We used to say put our money in the bank or the deposit in the bank. I believe, Master Myself came up with that reference. Is that every day when you check in, you deposit in the bank, and you work on building your character. So when you get up early, have a purpose for getting up early. When whatever character you're trying to be, actually start being that character. So if you caught the last event when we was talking about the strip club, and everybody was kind of going over their characters, and when it got to me, I'm like, I'm not being a character, I'm just being demigod. There's no separation, I'm just being me. So your character that you see needs to actually start incorporating all those values and the way you want to speak in your tonality into that person, and you actually be it. When it comes to like the actual beast, everybody has their spirit creatures. Not only do you tap into it when you're beasting out, when you're working out, doing the routine, but you need to also tap into that animal when you're out here speaking to people or when you're out here speaking to women. Bring that animalistic out to them. That's if you're just type of, I don't know everybody's character, but if your character's more like me and you like dominant, or if you like playing a lion or any type of, like the aggressive ones, and that's how you see yourself, then don't just tap into that shit when you're working out. Tap into that shit when you're speaking to your girl, when you're speaking to women, and when you just in any moment where you can tap into it and it actually works. But you have to calibrate depending on the environment. But some of y'all need to start tapping into that animal side too, especially when it comes to your girls. That's something that I know AZD kind of covered, the way his women are submissive to him. So, I think that's it. Just wanted to make sure when y'all get this routine, please do it properly. Please reach out. If you can't do it, if you can't do push-ups, if you can't do pull-ups, reach out to me. There's a progression to get you to that level. And then a lot of people fell off over time rather than just falling off. If you're struggling, staying on a routine, sticking to the routine, anything like that, reach out, ask for help from somebody. Don't just drop off the fucking routine and whatever the fuck they do after they drop off. But stick to it, ask for help when you need it. That's all I got, man. I'll actually speak when we actually do the event.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, I guess?
Oh.
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yo, then we got, yeah, what's up, man?
What's good?
So on how's it going, bro? So on like burpee days where we have to do the plyo push-ups, do you have like I noticed that on my wrist it takes a lot of impact. Like, I get kind of pain in my wrist. Would there be like maybe something I can do to take the impact off my wrist for plyos? Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like get like a mat or something.
You said for burpees, right?
It's not so much burpees. It's more the plyos.
Or the plyos.
When I come back down, my wrist take a lot of impact. Yeah. So I was thinking, you know, maybe you guys do something to. I don't know if you guys have that problem or not, but if you guys could recommend something.
So the first thing to do, depending on what level of the pain is that you wrap it. So there's different ways to wrap, especially for fighters. Like when I did Krav Maga, there was a certain way we wrapped our hands, and then when you like go boxing or MMA, they like do it like differently. So make sure you wrap it the proper way. If you don't know it, then give me afterwards, or just like YouTube it or something. It's like find everything on YouTube. His wrist.
Taping some wrists. What are you doing? Too many push-ups and not opening up your hand. Who is that?
About to say next.
LAIR Romero. Man.
Yeah.
Man. I woke up this morning so tight in my hands because this is my first phone and I averaged 20 hours and 30 something minutes a day last week. And my second device is over 10 hours a day. So I'm always holding this motherfucker. And I wake up and I got tight hands. And so it's right away, spread those hands, you know, stretch the thumbs, open up the wrists, you know, stretch out all the fascia that goes down into the finger flexors. Because when you go and do push-ups, if all those carpals are too tight together, you're going to get some bone-on-bone compression. You're going to feel pinching in the back of your wrist. You're going to get things on your pinky and your thumb. You might later get twitchy wrists because they're so sore and throbbing and it's like hard to sleep or whatever. So you got to learn how to pull apart. I'll teach this stuff. You know, you'll get wrist therapy is very important. We could do more of that because you came phase one. Maybe I didn't do enough wrist stuff last month, but that's the big thing. When you do like 3,000 push-ups a week, like you definitely want to do wrist care or it's not going to be sustainable, right? Or you're going to have 2 blocks of bone for wrists and not much mobility. And that's, you know, it's good for karate chops, but not for like, you know, living in a tech society.
Yeah. Yeah, like my push-ups are cool. Like I'm good with that. But when it comes to the plyos, when I come back down, I notice, you know, that's when it really hits it.
Plyos, like burpees?
I don't know if maybe like because you know you jump up in the air and then you come back down.
If it's hurting your wrist, then you're closing your wrist too much on the push when you catch. I was feeling it this morning too when I was doing the plyo push-ups. You got to keep an open palm, but the palm is different than the finger. So it's not just spreading the fingers. You have to distinguish the palm has to open because that's too much closedness there and tightness in the front of the hand. Even driving tightens the hand, texting and typing, holding things too much, stretching that out. You know, you got to open up the wrist. I'm telling you.
So try to keep like a wider palm.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. Wider palm, you could think of long fingers. You can turn your hands out a little bit. I do push-ups I do a lot of variations on push-ups. I'll turn my fingers out. I'll turn my fingers back. I'll go on my fists. You can rotate different angles on your fists. And I did all of that, and slowly I got to the back of the wrist, so you don't have to do that. You can do all sorts of variations. If you're doing the plyo push-ups, then just turning the hands out a little bit. Focus more. You know, like I do these like handstand things where it's like, you know, all your weight on one hand. And so you learn how to put all your weight on your wrist in a way that doesn't injure your wrist over time. And that place is the base of the thumb. So the base of the thumb is where most of the weight can be supported in one-hand handstands without hurting your wrist. So if you just taper that down to plyo push-ups, it's pretty much the same thing. If it doesn't hurt in a one-hand handstand, it's not going to hurt in plyo push-ups. So just focus on right there, the root of the thumb, and turn your hand out a little bit, and that might help.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that out. Thank you.
And I would explain it like if you had like a pressure plate or like, you know, like the fingerprinting and you have to press it. If you had a pressure plate under your hand, you gotta focus. You get in the push-up position and you gotta feel, where is the weight distributed on my hand? Is it more on the outside? Is it more on the inside? Am I leaning on my fingers more? And get familiar with your contact of the hand, because that has to be a default, like second nature. You don't want to have to think about your hand alignment when you're doing like plyo push-ups. You just got to make it right. So you build good habits. You get the alignment right as you're learning the beasting, and then it's there, right? And that pressure plate sensitivity is going to be, I want most of the weight on my thumb, and I want my palm spreading when I do that shit. Is my take on it. But this guy, I don't see my striations. They don't do it the same way. When I lift, see the muscle doesn't move much. I don't have much there. But I got thick wrists. I think my arms are really big. Actually, it's just my wrists are so much bigger that it just makes the arms look smaller. Maybe.
Good old Yogi Chris when he tapped in. That was a very elaborate way to answer that question. Me, I don't do none of that shit. All right, get in the fucking gym and do some fucking wrist exercises. All right, there's a lot of I know. Wrist gets ignored, just like fucking forearms, they get ignored. But start off with a day. No, because when you start this beach routine, do like a 10-minute just wrist exercise a day, because you ain't gonna have much time to actually do a full wrist routine. But then start getting that shit going, get them stronger. Man,
will you give us in the phase 1 this month? Will you give us that 10-minute, like a video of you giving us that 10-minute wrist routine?
This motherfucker. This is what Yogi do to get me involved in shit. Y'all see?
Well, I'm hella interested now. I want this wrist routine, and I also want to entice these guys to get this wrist routine. So if you just gave it to the phase 1 this month.
He twists my arm because, you know, if you ask demigod something, demigod probably ain't gonna respond the way you want to respond. So he just like throw me in the shit, so I can't back out, because if I back out, I'll be rude, and this is why me and Yogi butt heads. But I got it. 10 minutes.
And I'm looking forward to it.
When y'all show up. But to invalidate Yogi's answer, there was a lot of information he put into it, and it will work. But if you skip all the Yogi shit, what he's basically saying is strengthen your fucking wrist. We just strengthen it that way.
It's true. A lot of the spreading of the hand is the finger extensors. So the flexion, this is finger flexion, finger extension, wrist flexion, wrist extension. It's a technical term for, kinesiology, how the bones move. So spreading the hand activates the wrist and finger extensors, which is like if you were doing this, if you had a weight and you were like lifting the weight up like this, it's going to strengthen the back of the wrist. So it brings balance to the wrist, because you get too tight in the front, too weak in the back. And so the front of the joints get too tight together. You got to balance that shit.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right.
Fuck it. Let's go. All right.
I'm gonna end it with this, because is it Aaron? Aaron. Every time I see double A's, it's Aaron.
It's Aaron Romero, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you inspired me to actually put some effort behind this little promotion we got going on. So what the phase 1 routine is really about, one, is getting your ass in shape. Okay, because when you look good and you approach, we here to get women, and we here, and so whereas we here to what is it? Get money and fuck bitches.
No. Fuck money, fuck bitches. This is month life.
Fuck money, fuck bitches. Okay, so if your body is not right, like you just out here unhealthy, and you approach women like y'all know the insecurities. Okay, like I ain't gotta go through it, but y'all know the insecurities of a person that don't look good. So when you on a phase 1 routine, you actually start to look good, then those insecurities start to go away, and you approach that bitch like a man. You approach that bitch like the beast you want to be. So you gotta get that beast body and start walking around like a fucking beast and have that energy of a beast. Then you can start approaching everybody like a beast and be treated like a beast. Like I say, you treat a queen like a queen and treat a hoe like a hoe. So when you carry yourself as a king and when you carry yourself as a beast, then the environment is going to treat you as such. So this is where we start with phase 1, is getting it in shape. Now, when you're in the moment of beasting, now when you're pushing through and shit, then you get those thoughts in your head, and this is where beast the bitch came from. You gonna give up? I was in the gym today. I was like, fuck, I was fuck the workout. I was ready to go after the first one. But you know what I'm saying, it was either be a bitch or beast out. I finished the workout. It just took me a little longer than I wanted to do.
What did the beasting, you know, because you were already in many ways a beast when you came to the beasting routine, but what did this AZD process and tapping in how AZD has taught us, how did that affect your game? If you can separate, you know, pre-beasting routine, post-beasting routine, how it affected how you communicate with women.
I got you. And this is where I was kind of heading with it, is that, once you get into that mentality of it, it starts to bring out that push through shit. And you start to, you know, those moments where you have to choose between being a bitch and beasting out. When you start beasting out doing the routine, that's going to carry over into what you do in your life. Because you know they say you got that flight or fight reaction, got that bitch or beast reaction. So once you start there with the small things, just being a beast and accumulates over, you're gonna start doing the same things in your everyday life. You're gonna approach, you know, when a girl come, or you're talking to your boss, whatever it is, when somebody's speaking to you, and y'all getting that, you know, where you want to lower yourself, you gotta start carrying out, like, have people treat you the fucking way they need to treat you. But you know what I'm saying, when you ain't being treated that way, then you kind of lower those standards. So then that's what I mean by like bitch or beast out. You're gonna hold your ground, hold your standard, and demand the respect that you deserve. I'm just gonna bitch out. So that mental process starts to add up over time. On top of that, when you start thinking like one and you look like one, it just all go together. Then once we got to phase two, no, this is phase one. I ain't gonna go into phase two, but the mentality, the body, and how you carry yourself, that is the first process of you actually becoming the character that you want to be. And that is the big thing behind phase one, is that you're actually becoming that character. And then two, as Yogi was pointing out, like when it comes to outside the physical aspect, because that's like the beasting process, or however you want to say, like the entire beasting routine that you get, which is the cold shower, the waking up early in the morning, that in your morning rituals, it gives you time to get your state of mind right to go, as we say, to go serve. So I get up at 4. I got 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 4 hours to myself when I get up at 4. So in 4 hours, I got enough time to run. When I wake up, if y'all seen me try to do any type of check-in video in the morning, it just don't go good. I don't wake up happy like some of these people. They can just cut it on the camera, and the boys, they in the zone. Me, I cut on the camera, I'm like, fuck the world, and I'm out there for like 15 minutes. So when you're getting up early, it gives you time to get into the right state of mind to actually go serve in the world. Then the cold shower routine, you need to actually, you know, jump in there to see the benefits, and because it's one thing to explain it. So with that, just go fucking experience it and see how it is. But that adds to getting you mentally prepped for the day, getting you mentally prepped to be the beast that you are. It's like going to a job interview, and then you walk out the house with the suit and tie on, you feel a different way. You get that energy. So now you're getting yourself mentally and physically ready to be the character that you actually want to be. And then with your morning rituals, like for me, like I say, I'm working on improving me. So whether that's financially, whether that's physically, whether that's romantically, every day I wake up, I need to be doing something to get to that vision, to get to that goal that I have. So by waking up early, it gives me more time to actually work on the shit that I need to work on to be the person that I want to be in the future. So financially, you got to get up early if you want to get in the stock market. If you want to read a book, you get up early and you read like 10 pages of that book, and you actually put some effort and some time into doing the shit that you say that you want to do for yourself. And that's the reason why we get up early to do. And that's the whole process of phase one that I'm looking for. So what the fuck have you done for yourself? I don't care what you did for me. I don't care what you did for Soap Time. I don't care what you did for your family. I care what you did to Soap Time. I mean, whatever, but what have you done for yourself? That's phase one. What have you done for yourself? Then we'll get into other people. Y'all gotta stop putting yourselves. Y'all gotta stop putting people before y'all. You are the fucking priority, and that's why I got into self-love. But stop putting people before yourself. Get yourself right, and then go help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Fuck bitches, get money. Just kidding. Fuck bitches and fuck money too. All right, that was Demigod. Anything else, Demigod? That was it?
That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Cool. We'll wrap it up. You know what I mean? Like a dirty bitch. We wrap it up before we fuck a dirty ass up.
Whoa.
So we begin tomorrow at what time? We beginning? We begin tomorrow at
Yeah, we talk about the schedule.
yeah tomorrow.
Hold on, wait, tomorrow, Friday? Oh shit.
Yes,
Hold on,
sir.
hold on. Hey, before you say anything with demigod, let me see the schedule. You might not turn out.
It's the same as we're going with the same one, but if we make changes, we make changes.
Let me check.
All right, we're gonna let demigod check something. In the meantime, is there any questions you guys have or anything that you want to cover?
What time do we start tomorrow?
Yeah, we're about to find out. Demigod's gonna confirm the schedule because he's usually first speaker.
Are there any alumni that think they want to come? Not just the June phase 1, but some of the beaded monks. Any of you guys interested in seeing what it's like to expose yourself to the phase 1 in technology 6 months later? Because you haven't seen it. You haven't. It's different. It's different than the advanced camps. The advanced camps are a lot of mindset, a lot of sound bites, a lot of frames, a lot of alpha frames in the relationship matrix. The phase 1 event is phase 1. What's up? Alex Cervantes, what's up? You got a hand up.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Good.
First, I want to say get money, fuck bitches.
Sir.
I'm tired of being a nice guy, so I'm tapping in. Secondly, how do I get to become a beaded monk?
He said, how does he become a
You guys
beaded?
get that?
Yeah. How do you become a beaded monk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really codified exactly. The most direct and the most direct and obvious way is the phase 1 process. Do the phase 1 for anywhere from like 2 to 6 months usually, and you'll have go through massive transformations. It'll be obvious to everybody, kind of like Brandon said, like the people who only interact with you like once a week or infrequently, they'll see some big changes in you all of a sudden. It'll be like, what the fuck happened to this guy? And so as you graduate and have some realization that come naturally, like we talk like tapped into the beast, and it's because those things that we're referring to as being tapped in, we didn't have those before. And so when we access them, it's something that like we all seem to access at our own rate, our own pace as we go through the process. These truths are available to everybody. The circumference of a circle has always been the circumference of a circle before somebody realized it or not. It's not like a human invented that. We just recognized it was already there. The truth of beast and survival and the relationship code is there before we recognize it. We've just been convinced of an illusion all out of it. So when you get the beast monks, you demonstrate that you've applied the beasting process, it's changed your life, and it's not something that you say, this has changed my life. It'll be something in the sound of your voice and your mannerisms and what you talk about, like there'll be a shift. That's the most direct way that I can say, do this and you'll get the bead monks. There are guys that have gotten the beaded monk, gotten the beads that didn't necessarily do it that way, like Maddox or even Oracle, your brother, didn't really do the calisthenics routine, but he was applying the process and he was coming around and he was doing what he could do as a 38-year-old man running a business of 120 employees, trying to apply the process while he's married and has a kid. And he's like, so he did the process. And
yeah.
I don't know, what other examples of guys that didn't really do the phase 1 but got beads?
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is just he would get the beads. I think he just forgot to ask me last month.
I don't know that you would get the beads.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm not going to say put pressure on that. Scott Gravel came here live. I don't think Scott got the beads. It's not just coming live and putting in money. There are guys that put in well over 10K and didn't get money, get the beads. And then there are guys like Jason Phillips who came and, I mean, the guy was paralyzed in half his body and started doing one-handed push-ups and burpees. And all of a sudden life came back into his arm. That guy beasted, so it's not, so there's something in your transformation that the beast comes out. Like right now, I think that you're a beast, Alex, but there's so much, in my personal opinion, nobody else has said this. This isn't AZD's opinion. This is just Chris. In my personal opinion, you're so playful that the threat of the beast never comes out. I never feel the threat of the presence of a fucking predator. You know, I feel a strong man that knows what he wants, that's successful in the world, and he's so loose and playful with everything. I don't ever feel the pushback of a beast kind of thing. And I don't know how to speak that into you. I think there's an application, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you come this month or August month, you come to the Beast Camp and AZD is like, you know, it's up to AZD. He has the lens to see. I'm just a student, you know, that's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, and I totally see what you're saying with my playfulness. Kind of always been my gift and my curse at the same time. Being able to get along with people.
Because I was the same way.
What's that?
What were you saying? You were saying it's been a gift and a curse?
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a gift because I'm able to engage with people, and like for the most part, automatically gain people's trust. Like people I'm a likable guy. I'm a nice guy because of that. And and so the curse is because, that's a lot of feedback that I've done in the past. And then like, hey, you come across as a really nice guy, you know, a likable guy. You're charismatic, this and that, right? Playful. But the curse is I can be a pushover.
Yeah, you're a nice guy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be one of the big shifts in Alex. Like as he applies the phase 1 routine, is we're gonna see less nice guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we all had that.
We all have hella nice guys.
Just a lot of us. I mean, some people had it more, some people had it less. I had something similar that I think that you have, Alex, where like I was really nice. I still have it. I still have a bit of it. I can see it now, which is interesting. And a lot of it's come through doing the process, like going through phase 1, going through phase 2. I've been able to see where I'm being really nice to somebody and they're kind of like shitting on me.
Because it's out of habit, because Sultan is such a good guy.
All right, man.
But the nice guy is a pathetic.
Hey, that's a negative.
It's a pathetic expression of your goodness.
Yeah.
It's a pathetic expression of your goodness. You insult your goodness by being a nice guy. You shit on your own goodness when you're nice and you're taken advantage of because you're doing it out of habit or because you think you're supposed to, or you care about the opinions of other people. And it cuts your power. Right? And you're a powerhouse.
Yeah, and it looks good for women too. It looks weak. Fucking women don't like that shit. Ever since I started becoming a dick to all these fucking hoes, they fucking love it. So.
Dude, he wraps them around his finger, man. They're just juicy wet running back and forth.
Yeah, blocking me, then unblocking me, then blocking me, then unblocking me, back and forth, back and forth.
They can't figure him out.
They can't figure me out. That's the funny thing. But that's interesting. You said that. I have that same thing that you're talking about. But mine's a lot less now. Like the ratio is a lot less of the nice being nice. And I think eventually what's gonna happen is I won't have any of it. I'll be able to turn it on whenever I want because there's a time to be nice. I think there's a time to be nice, but a lot like look, this is one thing that I started doing. I've been practicing this. Like when I go to a store or a restaurant or a grocery store, anything where someone is helping me out, like bringing me up or doing whatever the fuck they're doing. I'm aware that they're doing all this shit. But I remember when I used to go to the store, I would always say, thank you. Now I don't say thank you anymore. I'm preparing because I'm like, oh, I'm about to say thank you. I'm about to say thank you. I don't say thank you. Just practice not saying thank you. What the fuck am I thanking you for? You fucking did your job. Now go fuck off and keep doing your job. I'm not gonna say thank you because you bagged my groceries. Fuck you. Now look, you might be like, well, that's a dick move. I don't think it's a dick move. I'm not gonna say thank you.
It's a useful exercise because your pendulum's going the other way.
Exactly.
You're neutralizing the energy. It may not always be that way.
Yeah.
You fully express your beast one day, you'll be like, thanks.
Yeah.
And come up, but you might not push yourself to be uncomfortable doing that if it wasn't for the beast.
For sure, definitely not.
Because that's uncomfortable, man. When you do the opposite of what you've done.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. It's very uncomfortable when I don't do it, and I don't even think the person in front of me really even gets that it is, but it is for me because I'm so used.
Any idea?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
No idea what struggle you're going through.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck, but yeah, neutralize the habit, and I'm so aware of it. Like I was at Guapo today. We're fucking grabbing tacos, and I'm not nice to anybody. I don't give a fuck. fuck you. I mean, if the person's cool with me and they're like, they're kind of like a good vibe and we're like going back and forth, cool. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, cool, thanks, have a good day. But if this person's being a fucking dickhead, which a lot of them are, they're butthurt about whatever the fuck they're butthurt about, I'm not gonna sit there and kiss their fucking ass and say thank you.
And you'll see that you act butthurt on the days that you miss beasting.
For sure.
When you don't beast that day, you'll see how you act butthurt in the world. But as you apply beasting, you stop at, you like work out that energy. It's similar to just working out. Like you get rid of nervous energy and kind of anxiety and things by just working out. But the way that we've set up the routine with the timing and the application of stoicism, the visualizations, all the pieces of it, the journaling, is designing your character. So you're working out your energy, you're transmuting your energy. You're transmuting it into a new identity, the beast. It's like a meme. We take the meme of the beast and we put it in you and you create it in you. And then you have a beast to go off of inside of you, but it takes work and daily applying to build the structure of it in you.
Yeah.
That's what the phase one is, getting you the routine and all the mindset and all the hacks that we worked out for how to make it work.
I want to show this picture real quick before we end it. During the phase one process, there's a moment where I was doing, I think, burpees at this park near my old place when I was living alone. And AZD texted me, I think. Or I texted him, I think. I texted some crazy realization I had. I texted him because around the time.
Man, you remember when you first moved in here and you were texting Momentum Warrior and you had to wake up?
No, I think I was texting. Yeah, I remember that. No, I was texting him. Yeah, because I got his number because I think I was hanging out with him because he would invite me out sometimes. So I would go hang out with him. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna text him this. Because I was like, I felt like it was right to text him this. I wasn't usually texting him a lot because that's fucking weird.
This is a Rosh early on you were texting?
This was AZD like before we moved here, like 3 months.
Before you lived with him.
Before I lived with him.
Yeah.
Even then I knew him, I was close to him, but I still was like, that's weird if I'm texting him a lot. I don't want to be known as the guy that was always texting him.
Of course.
Yeah, fuck that shit. So I texted him like this one thing. I don't remember what I said. I could probably go find it, but it'll take fucking hours. But I was saying something, and then he said, hey, send me a picture. He talked about this on Love Spell. There's a part on Love Spell. Somebody sent it to me, but he's like, he sends me a voice message. He's like, hey, send me a picture before the AZD process and then after. And he's like, send me a picture of your pussy face and then the picture after. I was like, all right. So I sent him this picture, bro. You ready for this picture? All right, what's this shit? I feel like I should stop recording so no one else gets to see this picture.
If you want to pause it.
All right, I'll pause it. Fuck them. If they didn't come, they don't get to see this picture.
Person, let's say, you don't want to underestimate the power of being, let's say, the first to adopt a new powerful system, a new app, a new sales tactic. If you're in a sales force or something, some new products that for your industry, like you don't want to be behind and let everybody else get ahead on it. Now, if you think it's risky, then you don't want to take the risk of some high risk investment. But is this really risky? Because who is involved in the dating community? How long have they been around? How successful are they? How open and out there are they with their content and their personality? Like this is tried and true. And this is tested. Now, there's a lot of people in the world that think they're going to get, I know because I communicate with like everybody that I can in IMC Nation. It's like 500, 600 people, more now on the newsletter, but like that I've messaged. And, there's people that want to get the recordings afterwards. And there's something to, when you get it, it's kind of like inflation. When you print money, when you first enter the money into the economy, the first people that use those dollars take advantage of the higher buying power of those dollars. It hasn't yet inflated the currency until it starts to circulate into the economy. But the people closest to the printing get to take advantage of the buying power before it diminishes the buying power of all the dollars. When you first get new information as it's flowing out here, it keeps flowing out and it keeps evolving, but you're at the head of the curve because he's at the head of the curve, as evidence from long standing. This is the Red Queen effect. We are the immortal 300 because this meme is going to continue. Mm-hmm. Who is going to continue it? Yeah. It's up to us to It's up to us to continue it. But you don't have to answer the call because there's enough now that call is going to be answered. It's just, are you going to catch this wave or are you going to wait for the next wave? Because once it passes you, then it's like, it's the next wave, right? So
that just comes to mind about it, because I see the advantage you have after each event. You have some advantage over the people that didn't do the event.
Yeah.
There's something revealed to you, and it changes, and you have more ease, more focus, all the things that AZD says that he has. He's really worked out these pillars of what he teaches. It's fucking incredible. Yeah, it's like vampires. It's like if you lived for a really, really long time, you would really distill down like what your skills are, what your strengths are, what you're not good at, what your preferences are. Like you would have a really refined awareness if you lived forever, if you lived for a really long time. And having multiple relationships is kind of like that. If you think of all the years you've been in a relationship, but if you have multiple relationships, those stack next to each other. And then in addition to the social awareness and social savvy you need to actually make that organize and work well and repel the environment that's like suppressing you, but then also have these meaningful relationships. It doesn't work well if you're the same guy with each girl. So you're actually a different guy. You're calibrated to each person, hence the shape shifting, but you're not doing it for them, because pretty soon you become a guy with a lot of girls, but you're still beta to all the girls. They control your nuts. Instead of she controls your nuts, they control your nuts. Yeah. So it's shape shifting. You start to, when you organize to all the women, you find something that's hidden. It's the actual center. It's the masculine energy that's cloaked in all of this feminine mumbo jumbo and language and methods and systems and everything. And that's what he's tapped into. That's the beast, is that essence that's beyond language, but we use the language of stoicism. We use the language of the prisons. We use the language of a prison planet, really, and what it takes to survive there and survival. And we get ourselves very close to it with those words. And then through applying the process, we can hopefully experience that essence that's just adjacent to the word. That's right there. And the more familiar we get with it day in and day out, we learn how to tap into that essence that's beyond words.
Mm-hmm. Tapped in.
Tapped in. Right?
Tapped in.
So with that, I hope to see everybody there. Right? Send me DM. I see who's been on this live. Hope you appreciate it. Let the world know about it. And I'll see you tomorrow. We start what time? 2?
We will start tomorrow.
Fernando's at 2, but he does maybe walking. He said trade. We'll start. AZD starts at 5. So you want to be on before 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow for sure. And you get the recordings immediately.
Yep.
All right. Os.
Fuck bitches, get money.
Fuck bitches, fuck money.